Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog, the Week 13 recap. The Week 14 betting lines. Ben Rasa's on the line. Tim Cust in studio with me, who's feeling good about the Jets and their terrific first 1 3/4 quarter performance today.
Oh, yeah, they played fantastically. Yeah, it wasn't like they threw an interception touchdown to an offensive lineman who took it 92 yards and they didn't score another point in the game after that. At least that didn't happen, right?
I mean, they're your Jets too, Ben.
They were my Jets. They were my Jets defense today. I respect that. They helped out. But yeah, no, bad things happen. What can you say? The team is an absolute disaster and they need to rebuild everything. Everything.
Now, this is the first time all year that I've heard you blame Aaron Rodgers, Tim.
Today it was his fault. It's not like the defense let him down. They had a chance at the end of the game to win. He missed Garrett Wilson earlier in the game on a wide open touchdown. He took a sack on third down towards the end when he can't take the sack there. He was trying to push the ball far more down the field today than in weeks past, but he wasn't connecting. He wasn't putting balls in the right spot. He did not play well enough today. That team, with the defensive performance they got, should not have scored 0 points from the second quarter onward. There's just no defending it. He did not play well enough today.
Did they complete any of those passes he threw down the field?
I don't know that they completed a single one, but at least he was pushing it down the field, and they weren't just all dump-offs. But again, the Wilson one was so egregious. He made such a fantastic move to beat the corner, and he was wide open, and he just overthrew him. It's just like, come on. If you want to play somewhere next year, you got to make passes like that.
Do you think we see him anywhere next year, Ben?
Somewhere, yeah. Hopefully not here, but I'm sure someone will take a shot.
Who would take him? Who would take that circus?
I'm
not sure anybody would.
The Raiders.
It was like, who's he going to mentor? Nobody.
The Raiders will take him.
Is Devontae going to demand a trade back to the Raiders?
Yeah, he'll go back.
Great.
And then they'll have him and Bowers, and it'll be unstoppable.
Great. I can't wait.
He would throw Bowers.
That's actually not that bad of an idea.
Yeah, he would throw Bowers under the bus so quickly for not running the right route.
A very dispiriting performance. What has been a very dispiriting season.
This was a very dispiriting day of football. It just felt like sloppy football all day long.
Yeah, right from Thanksgiving. The Thursday games are bad. The Friday game was horrific. The Saturday, all the games today were bad. There wasn't a single well-played football game all weekend that I can think of.
Oh, Carolina just scored a touchdown.
Oh, Lord.
Was it David Moore?
I don't know who it was as of right now. I see them celebrating. Just a lot of Bryce Young hugs all the way around. Only 30 seconds left in this game. Well, this is really bad. Not only am I going to lose my super lock for the first time in 3 months, lose money on that, my Tampa bets could be going up in smoke here. 61% chance of making the playoffs had they have won this game. 31% with a loss.
And the Saints lost.
Well, the one decent thing here is I haven't actually technically lost the super lock yet. They're only down by 3. They kick a field goal, go to overtime.
It could be you could get a push.
Or they could kick a field goal.
Yes, and then get a defensive
score. I've won a bet that way before.
That's
it was a Washington-Houston Monday night game where they won by 8 in overtime, which is probably about as good as you'll ever run on any sort of bet. It's just a bad day of like stuff coming down to the wire for me, just not coming through. Ben, why did the Buccaneers give it to Rachaad White on 3rd and 1 instead of Bucky Irving, who was just gashing them on every single play?
There was a lot of that going around today. I was complaining about Kyron for the same reasons. Yeah. And not only did they give it to him, they gave it to him on like a toss pit. Like just go up the middle and you're getting it. No doubt about it. I hope this game actually doesn't go to overtime. But yeah, I don't understand it was a sloppy day. The most notable thing all week from college to this is there's just fights everywhere. That's the only thing that's memorable from this weekend.
There was one college, I mean, I don't watch college, but I saw like a clip come on my feed about someone, like it was just a guy throwing a flag.
Oh, there was a lot of flag battles.
I mean, someone on Notre Dame threw a punch and hit somebody and wasn't called for it.
Oh, I saw that too, right in the helmet.
Right in the helmet, like what are you doing? But like, didn't get called for it. Like, oh well, something finally broke the Irish's way.
Oh, this is just like in the Jets game where you and DJ Reed are complaining about the refs, how they're screwing the Jets.
I thought the PI call against Adams there was hand checking the whole way up the field. I didn't think you needed to call that there. I really didn't. In a game where it's not like the Jets weren't going to give the refs other opportunities to throw the flag. Maybe you don't throw that one there. But they did. Yeah, it's been sloppy. It's been frustrating. The only person who should feel good about this week is I think Bryce Young has saved his job. I really do. I think he's coming back next year, and the Panthers are coming back with him next year. He's played well enough since the middle of October to, I think, since he took the job back over, to have cemented himself as the starter on that team.
I got to know which one of these people. Someone just tweeted at me, mocking me losing money, which I do not like. I don't go out of my way to mock anyone besides you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not actually losing money, so it's not that big of a deal. This guy doesn't follow me and is mocking me about it. I guarantee you're watching right now. Blocked, banned for life. Reveal yourself in the chat, please. So Paul can ban you for life. I don't want to see it.
That's right.
Hurts my feelings in my bank account.
It's bad form.
Drake Maye and Bryce Young. Let's talk about that. And Phony Tony, for that matter, because this almost turned into the best day ever for the Denver Broncos. Where every single team chasing them almost lost. And then Anthony Richardson bent at the last second. It was a pretty impressive drive. Was it 13 plays? They had 2 major drops on it. They ended up going for 2 at the end. I actually thought that Drake Maye and the Patriots played awesome in that game. And they just settled for field goals, settled for field goals, and just left them around long enough. I didn't think that Anthony Richardson had it in him, but here we are.
It was a performance to save what is a season on life support to keep it going a little bit longer. But, if you're Denver, you're feeling great because really the only team that can catch you, you get to play in a week or two, and you can just lock up the last spot in the playoffs.
I don't know if it would go that way. Who do you think was the most impressive of those guys today? Is it Bryce Young with this potential game-winning drive?
He was pretty. I mean, from where he was starting, I feel like he had the most room there because like most people, had him done, and he has. It just shows. Just sitting for a couple weeks can really help. And yeah, I mean, he may have saved his job, particularly if they win this game. Who knows if Tampa's going to come back? But that was a pretty damn impressive performance.
He didn't go first overall for no reason, right? He went first overall because he has a tremendous skill set. So we shouldn't be surprised to see him bounce back a little bit.
The Panthers in general, even their defense seems a little bit better than it did earlier on in the season. You can still run all over them, but other than that, Baker's taken off. They're almost in field goal range.
That's a score.
That's 20.
This is just destined to go to overtime. I can already tell.
Need it. Bucks by 8. Here we go, because everyone's mocking me about me losing already. It's not over yet.
Do you know who I think had the worst day?
Aaron Rodgers.
Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker may have kicked his last ball for the Ravens.
Well, Baltimore with 59 seconds left are down by 12 in their own end and 3rd and 7 as we speak. So let's just assume Philly wins this game. If they don't, miracle that they end up coming back and winning. You've been saying they go on bye next week. Do they have to bring in someone?
You have to bring somebody in at least to test him in camp. Because what you can't do is go into the playoffs with a kicker that you feel like you've got to put out there that you can't trust. Because that will sooner or later burn you in the worst way. And, the Ravens have once lost a playoff game because their kicker missed a 25-yard field goal to let the Patriots go to the Super Bowl. So it's and John Harbaugh was there for that. So if you can't trust him, and it's becoming clear that you probably can't, I don't understand how you can continue to roll him out there. You can't just bank it on loyalty. You got to move on.
I mean, there's nothing. They're going to lose this game by 12, and they miss, 3 field goals and an extra point, Ben?
2 and an extra point, I think.
It's bad. They might do I was just talking to someone about this. Maybe they say he's hurt. I could see them doing this gracefully and just being like, he's injured and we're bringing someone in because he's tied to that franchise. But how many kicks can they miss before they have to do something? This is insane.
It's 2nd and 5 with 6 seconds left for the Buccaneers.
From the
38-yard line of Carolina.
Well, I've seen teams try to kick a 68-yard field goal today to win. When they had no chance of getting it.
And they had...
I did see that.
They just completed a pass to get to the 33-yard line and called timeout.
The Patriots have got to throw a Hail Mary there. If your kicker has no chance of getting it to the goal line...
68-yarder!
You have to... I understand if you have Brandon Aubrey, you can attempt that. But otherwise, unless you're a coach who has seen that kid make a 68-yarder in practice, and you know that he's got it in him, you can't possibly bring him out. You've got to try your luck at a Hail Mary.
Unless Mayo's on board with hey, let's get better draft picks.
I don't think...
Run out there and kick that field goal. Don't worry about it.
I don't think that was happening.
It's tie game? You're spoiling it for me? I was watching it right here on the screen. All right, here we go to overtime.
Of course.
Maybe it will be. Now I'm gonna say field goal and safety doesn't work at all for me. That's just no good. But this does keep alive most of these over bets, division bets, and everything. Because if the Bucks do win, they will be technically a half.
I think
game.
you will just take a touchdown and a push at this point.
Listen, if I get a touchdown and push, I am perfectly okay with that as we kick the can going into next week. So we'll come back to this game in a second. Let's talk about Atlanta.
Oof.
They're going to Minnesota next week, Ben. They look terrible. Like Kirk Cousins. Cousins looks it's 3 games in a row because the Denver game he was bad. He was horrible today. Do they think about making a move? Can they?
Man.
Oh, they can. They have a rookie sitting right there that they drafted with the 8th pick. I mean, I don't know what you do. Like Tampa, I just presume Tampa's going to win this game by a field goal, and you're going to be dead even with 5 weeks to go. Like Kirk needs to figure this out real fast because he's not worth frittering your whole season away on.
Like, what do they have with Michael Penix? You know more
what
about.
Can you do?
I mean, you know more about Penix than any of us, Ben. Like, give us is he ready? He's a lefty, that I know.
I mean, if you want the positive, he's not as like quote unquote raw as most rookies because he's got a ton of experience and he played, and then he was really good. Tore it. I believe it was an ACL. It was either that or an Achilles. Transferred, and then he was even better at Washington, and so he should be more seasoned than most, but. I feel like they're too relevant to make a radical change. Like if they were out of it, they would have already done it. But I can't believe they would do that with stuff to play for, even though Cousins, I thought some of those interceptions today were tipped and then they showed the replays. He threw the one in the end zone was one of the worst passes I've ever seen.
If they lose, and give him a chance at his revenge next week against the Vikings. If they lose and he doesn't play well at 6-7, I think any coach who's responsible has got to make a move. As hard as that is, I think you got to go to the guy you drafted with the 8th overall pick. And who would be upset at you about that?
It's a lot. It's weirdly tougher because you're bringing in a lefty. That you have to move guys around on offense. Like that should have been somewhat of a consideration. I guess they never thought it would come to this.
But that's why you pay a coach a ton of money to make big decisions.
Do you think Raheem Morris has this in him?
I think his hand's going to get forced here soon.
During the Lamar touchdown to Andrews, Ben, Romo said that no quarterback ever would throw into that coverage. And then Lamar just did. I could have named like 8 quarterbacks today who most definitely would have thrown into triple coverage into the end zone.
Jameis and co all do that. Like
Josh Allen,
that guy was too open for Jameis. It was give me a break.
Kirk Cousins did this like 3 times, but it was only Chargers in that coverage. There were no Falcons to be. Maybe he thought like Ray McCloud was like hiding below them, and he would just pop up and catch it. No, there was just nowhere to be found. Stupid Atlanta, Pittsburgh.
Didn't see that coming. Didn't think they had that kind of offensive output in them. That was a shock to me. I don't know what to make of Pittsburgh week on week because like they started a bit of a slide. They lost to the Browns. They're like, okay, this is where we kind of thought this Steelers team had sort of like hit its zenith and it was going to start giving things back to the field. And then the Bengals, who are like the Jets, they're favored every week and they lose every week, found a way to give up 40 some odd points and 400 passing yards to Russell Wilson. And their season ended today too. Like that is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, they're done. Finally. Done. I've been saying for the whole season, and I'm an idiot. I keep betting them. Once again, I said, this is it. Do or die for the Bengals. I said that in like week 2. And the whole way through. Do or die, and they would lose the game. And then I'd say, like, well, now they have really no room for error. But
San Francisco's the same way. San Francisco keeps losing every week. And they're like, oh, don't worry. They're going to get it going. No. What makes you think they're going to get it going? They're not going to get it going.
Well, after the Ravens lose now, they're, 2 games behind Pittsburgh?
In the loss column?
Yeah.
There would be 8-5. Pittsburgh would be 9-3. So they will be.
And the best the Ravens can do against the Steelers is split.
Ravens will be off next week. Pittsburgh will have to play next week, and I think they play Cleveland next week, which is weird. Like a very quick turnaround to play the Browns twice in 3 weeks, but I believe that's who they play.
I guess we should talk about the NFC West, where we talked about the Jets. We didn't talk about the Seahawks, the resilient Seahawks.
Every week, the last month, the Seahawks have been down and out in games, and nobody's given them respect. And my goodness, Gino and that team has really, I think, distanced them. I mean, the Rams won, but the Rams are clearly paper tigers. I mean, they are, as much as they have good players. I think the Seahawks have really established themselves as the team to beat in the NFC West. The Cardinals have had it on their racket, and they let the last 2 games get away from them. So.
Well, what do you make of it, Ben? Because Seattle, like when you take a look at the score of the game, it looks like, Aaron Rodgers was lighting them up. That really wasn't the case. Seattle's defense actually played really well in that game. Just they were, offered short fields. There was a special teams touchdown. Some of the stuff that you forget when you watch like 10 games in a day. It's like, oh yeah, their defense actually played great the entire time. And that's like 3 weeks in a row now. And they played Arizona, whose offense also didn't look great again today against Minnesota, who plays good defense.
San Francisco, who
did they get San Francisco with Purdy? It's the game Purdy got hurt in.
Yeah, no, it was a game that I don't know if Purdy got hurt in it, but it's
a game that in it.
It's a game that Bosa got hurt in.
But it's a game that Purdy got hurt, then didn't play the next week. So obviously he got hurt in that game. Yeah. Unless he was just walking around town getting hurt, getting shanked or something like that.
In a very difficult. I mean, I'm curious what Ben thinks, but I think Seattle has got to be the legit favorite now in the division.
Yeah. I mean, almost by default, that is the most interchangeable division because Rams keep winning. I'm like, well, if the Niners somehow can get it together, it's still the Niners. And Arizona, even Arizona today, like they played well enough to be in that game. But I like Seattle. Obviously, Geno's resurrected himself like a lot of these quarterbacks, and I like JSN. I like Metcalf. I like Walker. Seattle's good. I don't know how good. I don't think they'll threaten in the playoffs, but they could win that division, no problem.
Their secondary is deadly too. The Seahawks have some very good corners. They're a tough out.
Part two.
In an NFC where there aren't any elite teams outside of Philly and Detroit, like there's no reason to think that Seattle can't make itself into the Final Four of the NFC.
You're not giving the Packers or Vikings their flowers right now?
I guess. I'm going to be the last person in the world to continue to question what Green Bay is up to. But their performance on Thursday night was certainly terrific.
So Ben, here is Seattle's remaining schedule. It's
got to be in division a lot.
It's not. That's the problem. Remember, like a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think it was, even when all the teams were 5-6 or whatever it was, and they were just randomly 20-1 to win the division. It's because they finish at the Cardinals, home Packers, home Vikings, at the Bears, at the Rams. Like those could be 5 wins, but those are all coin flippy games, and they're probably dogs to the Packers at home.
They were to beat the Cardinals next week, though, and that's the first one out of the chute. Then they've got a 2.5 game lead because they would have swept them, and it becomes
but then the Rams become their problem.
But then they'll get the Rams again too. Like everything's in front. If Seattle just beats the Rams and the Cardinals,
that gets them to 9 wins.
That's probably good enough in the NFC West when they will have beaten San Francisco, Arizona twice, Seattle. Like that's enough wins to get you over the top in a tiebreak. The Bears are sort of just sitting there, right? The Bears, you think that would be the 10th win. You could tack that on for sure.
I don't know about that.
The bottom has fallen out of that team.
They've bottomed out. They play like 1-score games every week. Eventually, unless you're the Vikings, they start flipping your way.
Maybe.
Are the Vikings for real, Ben? Because they looked horrible all game, and then Darnold, with 10 minutes left, looks like vintage Aaron Rodgers. He's unflappable, makes every single pass. Doesn't matter. The defense steps up. And
actively rooting against them now. They're frustrating me.
Why?
And it's nothing about Darnold. It's just like this team plays poorly. It doesn't deserve to be 10-2. They should be taking losses.
Are you just mad because you cursed the Cardinals? They have not won a game since you endorsed them.
It's not working out. But
the Chiefs have been really bad since you endorsed them.
The Chiefs have been bad all year. Chiefs have played one good football game all year where they decimated San Francisco. Like, the Chiefs were already living very vicariously before I showed up.
It's funny that you cursed the Bears, and then you took your curse off the Bears and put it on the Cardinals. And the Bears still can't recover from any of this. And now, can the Cardinals recover, Ben? Would you bet against the curse here? So is Seattle clear sailing?
Yeah, I mean, you got to factor that in. I think Seattle's going to be, when it's all said and done, they're going to emerge unscathed from this road. There's like 10 teams, and getting back to the Vikings just for a second. Yeah, I don't know what to make of them. I think they're kind of figured out. But the NFL this year, I mean, the Chiefs are obviously leading this. The teams that, quote unquote, they just win these games, but I feel less confident that they're good the more they win, ironically.
Houston the same way again today.
Oh, my God.
Houston again.
Bad team.
They keep winning. And they're not playing good in any of these games.
Should we talk about the hit on Lawrence?
Oh, terrible. Just terrible.
What do you think the fine is going to be, Ben?
Not enough. So the thing that's most absurd, how is that? They need to have a rule where if something really crazy happens, there's no offsetting penalties.
Agreed.
That can't happen.
Agreed.
Like
I 100% with you on that.
like what? That just it can't be like that. It has to be like a class 2 personal foul, and it supersedes all melees afterwards.
When you're disqualified from the game, your personal foul should take precedence over any other personal foul on that play.
Like you started a chain reaction that led to no one was going to get a personal foul on that play if that didn't happen. That was just an insane. I was so shocked that was the call from it. Yeah, I mean the fine will be. How long do you think he gets suspended for?
At least a game, maybe 2.
At least a game, maybe 2. Maybe Greg Williams was onto something, Ben. Like imagine Mahomes is doing this, and you just take a headshot at Mahomes, knock him out for the year. I don't know if it makes the Chiefs significantly worse at this point, but like if you only get a game, doesn't that kind of incentivize you to go out and take runs at people? Like I feel like the penalty needs to be severe.
It does need to be severe. If they told him he couldn't play the rest of the year, I wouldn't object to that.
It should be if Lawrence is. There should be some of that where it's like if he's out for like a month, you shouldn't be able to play till he comes back.
I always like those types of penalties. I doubt the PA would ever go for that.
No, I agree. That was a bad one.
It was also bad, though, on the Jacksonville fans to be throwing cups at him as he was leaving the field. You can't do that either.
Why not? We threw batteries at John Rocker.
I forgot about that guy.
That guy. I haven't thought about John Rocker in quite a while.
I'm surprised he didn't get like elected to Georgian Senate or something like that. Isn't he like primed to run? Like shouldn't he like the full cycle have worked on John Rocker that he's back in the news? Is he still alive?
I have no earthly idea.
Is John Rocker still alive?
I feel like he wasn't even all that good of a closer either. He just played on a Braves team that just had so many opportunities to get
those
saves.
were amazing teams.
Yeah, they were. That like any pitcher could have been a good closer for that Atlanta team.
He is still alive. I mean, no, he had that one year where he was just. It was that year when he went on the rant about New York and he got batteries thrown at him. He was just throwing heat all year. It was just like who was the guy who gave the home run to Joe Carter in '93?
Mitch Williams.
Like he was a fantastic closer, and that was the end of him.
Or Byung-Young Kim, who was a very good closer for the Diamondbacks, and they won that World Series, and he was done after that World Series.
It's a lot.
That was insane.
There's a lot of fragility when it comes to baseball closers.
Eric Gagne won the Cy Young, and then like 2 years later wasn't pitching anymore.
I was at the game when he broke the record at Dodger Stadium. Then he was on steroids. I mean, he was on steroids, so and was caught very early on. So once they brought in, like once the Mitchell report came out and they like tested for it, all of a sudden he wasn't so good anymore. Shocker. Canadian, Eric Gagne.
Yeah.
Is there anyone we missed from the Sunday? Stupid Bucks missed the field goal.
Oh, really?
Now I kind of hope they lose. Or tie. I wonder what tie. That's not good.
A tie.
I just want this game to end.
A tie has
please.
got to be good for Tampa, I think.
Well, it's better than a loss.
Tie is better than a loss because they don't have the tie break. So I don't know.
And it's not good for my over 8.5 wins.
No, it's
That's what it's not good for. So maybe a pick 6 would be nice here from them. Indianapolis. Do you think Indianapolis has any pulse going forward? Like, do they have a chance, Ben?
No.
Not really.
I think there's a chance that they have their quarterback, but that's about as good as they can hope for, I think. I don't know. I put them in the same bucket as, honestly, New England. Of like, there's a chance. I like Drake May a lot. It's not even close to ready, but they might have something there.
Like, how many losses does Indianapolis have? 7? Are they 5-7?
They are 6-7.
6-7.
That means they have a bye week next week.
Denver has got how many wins?
Denver is 7-5. So they could be
So
a game
they
back
would have
going
to-
into their game.
They pretty much can't lose again. They pretty much have to go 10-7 probably to make the playoffs. That means whatever the last 4 games are on the slate for the Colts and their AFC South games,
And Denver.
and Denver.
They have to win the Denver game.
That goes without saying. They probably have to win them all. They probably
I
have
think
to
all
go.
of them.
I think they have to go 10-7. If they go 10-7, that will mean they will have beaten the Broncos, and they probably have a decent chance to get in.
They go Titans, Giants, Jags to end the year.
Wow, Giants is a nice berth too, and Jags is nice, and Titans is nice. So really,
I
if they
agree.
can beat the Broncos, so I guess I take that back. I give them like a 20% chance now. Give the
don't-
Broncos an 80% chance.
I bet they just don't feel like a playoff team.
They
Like,
don't.
They're just not that good. That's the part. Like, I agree. They have a decent run out. They're not that good,
like-
though. They're not going to beat those teams.
You're right, but like that Steelers team that made the playoffs last year was not very good, but just things broke their way and they got to get in. So that can happen when 7 teams make it.
Oh, people are saying Thielen catch of the year, better than Garrett Wilson's.
Okay.
I heard that in this chat.
Calm down now, people. Calm down.
What if San Francisco wins tonight?
That would be an extremely impressive win in what looks like it's going to be still somewhat wintry out there, and in a game where the world has sort of given up on them. That'd be an impressive win, and I mean that would put them to 6-6,
They'd be a game back,
and still in touch with Seattle and have them again. So their season really is on the line.
Who's not scoring the first touchdown?
Purdy.
That's probably true.
He's not scoring the first touchdown.
You're right.
That is
He is
accurate.
not.
Yeah.
There you have it. Paul was accusing me of only picking the favorites. Purdy.
Let's circle back to Philadelphia and Baltimore for a second. Now that the game is over, Baltimore did score at the end of the game with Isaiah Likely to help me bury you in fantasy, which is very nice. Always enjoy to see that. So Philadelphia, you put them on the tier with Detroit. If it was a neutral site game right now, Ben, especially how Detroit looked on Thanksgiving against the Bears and how Philly's just been rolling. Did you know they have the MVP on their team? Have you heard that?
I've heard that a few times today in the last 20 minutes, but yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they have something. They got my man A.J. Brown, who he hasn't erupted yet, but that game is coming soon.
That's the NFC Championship game we want to see.
We don't.
We want that. I feel like we'll be cheated as fans if we don't get Detroit, Philly in the championship game. That's a game I want to see.
Because you most definitely don't want to see the Packers in there shit talking them all year long.
Well, I don't want to. I don't think the Packers or Vikings really match those two teams. I think Detroit should win it. I think Detroit's the better team, but I think it would be an excellent. That's a game people want to watch.
I mean, the Detroit-Minnesota game was excellent.
It was a good game, but like Detroit, I think is doing something extremely special, and so I want to see them continue to do it.
If it was a neutral site game right now, what would the line be?
Lions by 1.5. Lions, yeah, 1.5 Lions.
1.5, 2, Ben?
Yeah, something like that.
Who would you bet?
I think so.
Who would you take?
The Eagles.
I think I'd.
Where is the outdoor game? Is it outdoors in New York or is it outdoors in Miami? Because that's a big difference to me.
It's a hypothetical.
Well, I'm not taking them in the cold outdoors. I'm taking them but I would take Detroit in the warm outdoors.
I mean, do you think that Philly is significantly better outdoors than indoors?
I think the Lions are worse outdoors than indoors.
Okay,
that's my supposition here.
But wouldn't it just be like wherever it wouldn't matter where it would be outside, that the Eagles would be the same and that Detroit only gets worse?
Yes.
So let's say it's neutral site indoors and it's a 1.5.
I like the Lions.
I mean, I think I like the Eagles too. In that spot. I mean, they're fast. That's helpful.
So is Detroit. Detroit's very fast.
Wow. I mean, okay, Ben, did you watch any of this Gibbs stuff? Giving away the plays?
I saw it on Twitter. That seems not smart. Yeah, I mean, I saw what probably most people saw. I don't know. It seems like a big deal, but I also don't know, like, did they change those protections all the time, or is it actually like, wow, what an idiot?
Maybe that's something you can ask Dan Campbell during the halftime coaches interview, which only he is good at, by the way.
He's excellent at it.
We saw Tomlin today, and we saw who was it? We saw Sirianni,
who just said we
need to score points and play defense. Thanks, Nick. See you later.
We had good plays in the second quarter. We need to keep doing good things. Okay, well, thanks.
What are the point of these interviews?
They're contractually obligated just in case somebody accidentally says something interesting.
But do you want to, are the networks looking to put coaches in a bad spot to do that? I feel like they aren't.
I don't know.
Kirk Cousins is the first player with 100 pass attempts, 0 passing touchdowns, 6+ interceptions, and 1 pick six over a 3-game span since Brett Favre in weeks 14 to 16 of 2005 with the Packers.
Not good.
And he fucking noodle arms everything to everyone right now.
I think Atlanta's got to make a move. The sooner they do, the happier they'll be.
Who needs to make a move more, Atlanta or Baltimore with their kicker?
Oh, boy. I think Atlanta needs to make it sooner because Baltimore's going to make the playoffs. You can make that change at kicker 1, 2, 3 weeks down the road. I think Atlanta coming up against Minnesota. What a great opportunity that would be to flip the defense and make them have to study for a QB they don't know. There's quite a bit of an advantage, I think, of switching QBs this week.
Also, Ben, this is the Jets' 9th straight losing season, the longest in the NFL.
Yeah, it's a tough scene, man. Like I said, it's my fake team, so
Bucks won.
It hurts.
Not a field goal?
Yeah. Chuba Hubbard fumbled.
Yeah, so apparently, from what I'm gathering, Thielen made an unreal catch to basically set up Carolina for the game-winning field goal, and then they just immediately fumbled.
Oh, they're like the Raiders.
Savvy football. Got to protect those draft picks.
Oh, dear.
I mean, Thielen caught the game tire, the game-winning touchdown. It wasn't the game-winning touchdown. That was a touchdown.
I don't
halftime.
understand.
Oh yeah,
I don't understand.
That was
why
a touchdown.
Yeah, why that was taken back? We didn't have the sound on that game, so like Pereira was on there explaining whatever it was, but I was like, "What are you talking about? He has possession, his knees down. It's a touchdown. It's elementary."
They kept using Jonathan Brooks in the game. It was nice to see them. They spend this high pick on a running back. They keep him out all year. They finally use him to bring him back to watch Chuba Hubbard go crazy. The first week he's back, and then like he looked like decent sporadically, but he had some like really terrible runs and catches on like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Oh, to Tim, you sense the MRE coming in there?
Yes.
To finish off before we go to break and to set everything up, Baltimore. Are you worried about Baltimore just overall? We already mentioned that they're 2 games back of Pittsburgh in the NFC or the AFC North right now. So 8-5 to 9-3. Like they're not. I mean, I guess they have the tiebreak over the Chargers because they just beat them, but they're not like guaranteed to be in yet either.
They're in because then the Colts would be the one who would have to take it from them.
What we just said, if the Colts beat Denver, that doesn't mean Denver can't win other games too.
Yeah, but then like the Ravens still have 8 wins on their docket. They'd have to probably. I don't know. I think Baltimore's probably like 96% in.
Okay, when I do the power rankings on tomorrow's show with Jake, like where do you think that the Ravens will end up falling? Like I'm guessing that if the spread was a pick'em in the playoffs, we'd all take Baltimore over Pittsburgh, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I would.
You've not been.
That's like, there's a lot of this going on with college football right now where it's like some of these teams, everyone says, and I'm guilty of this too, like, well, they're just better, but they just keep losing. And it's like, well, if they played on a neutral field, they'd still be favorite. It's like, well, yeah, but they keep losing. So I don't know. I mean, I think Baltimore is still one of the best teams, but they keep losing.
You're right. Like, obviously, Alabama is better than Indiana.
100%.
And they'd be like 12 to 13-point favorites against Indiana. But you can't possibly put a 3-loss Alabama team in over a 1-loss Indiana team. You just can't do it.
Yeah. If Alabama lost another game, they would still be favored. And it's like, so what are you going to do? Like, Georgia would get in with 7 losses if you took the 12 best teams.
That's it exactly. At some point, the fact that you win all but one game has to count for something. Otherwise, why are we even playing? Let's just simulate the season.
Ooh, simulate the season. That sounds like fun. You get 20 years in the future, and only creative players are on your team.
There's 7 at-large spots.
Good enough to
if you can't make it one of the 7 at-large spots based on your record, go home.
That's the one thing I don't understand about the college playoffs. As someone who's just very from the outside looking in, all I really know is that there's now 12 teams making it to the playoffs. That how are people so up in arms? Like, well, yeah, we're 5th in the SEC, but we should still be. It's like, why don't you win some fucking games?
Exactly. Like I've never had much sympathy to begin with. I have no sympathy now.
Well, we're going to set up the MRE for when we come back from the break, and I want you all to smash the like while you are here, and maybe we'll run through some underdog plays for Sunday Night Football. Reminder to you good people to use code Mayo, but for now, enjoy this about what is the TGL. If you see yourself in a lot of the guests on the Pat Mayo Experience, it probably means you're not getting enough nutrients in your diet. There's a solution to this problem, and that solution is AG1. I hammer down a bottle of AG1 every morning when I wake up, and I do not lack energy. You can hear that in my voice. I'm always having energy. So if you need to get some in your life, or there's someone in your life that you need to get some for, right now, AG1 is running a special Black Friday offer for all of November. AG1 is a daily health drink packed with nutrients to help you alleviate bloating, support sustained energy, and the whole body health. Here's the key to AG1, because some people don't necessarily love the taste of ground up greens. The move is to cut it with orange juice. That's what I do. There's many different ways that you can make your own special recipe for it. You can put it in a smoothie. You can make it with cold water. But I just put a little bit of orange juice, then put in water for the other half. Boom, I put in my scoop of AG1, shake it up, energy all day long. And you can have that too with AG1. So this holiday season, try AG1 for yourself or even gift it to someone special. It's the perfect time to focus on supporting your body with an easy and surprisingly delicious daily health drink. And that's why I'm so excited to be partnering with them. Every week of November, AG1 will be running a special Black Friday offer for a free gift with your subscription, in addition to a welcome kit with vitamin D3 and K2. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/mayo to see what gift you can get this week. That's drinkag1.com/Mayo to start your holiday season off on a healthier note. Well, supplies last. Well, that wasn't the TGL. Ben, TGLgolf.com if you want to learn more about the TGL. If you're listening to the audio.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, drinkag1/Mayo still works for you to get it. What do you have in front of you there?
Looks like classic macaroni and cheese. Am I wrong?
No, chef, not wrong. Look, you hold it up to the camera. Doing this with like T-Rex arms. Wait, you don't. It's not that. There you go. Look at that. Did you, Jared? Did you add some pepper to that?
Just a touch. You said he doesn't like spice. Yeah,
It's a bit hot, isn't it?
I fucking told you that.
Ben, does that
Like actually hot, not spicy, right?
You did tell me. I completely forgot that 1.5 minutes. I don't know why. I was excited. It was really good though.
How would you know? Your mouth seems like you burnt it.
I did burn a little bit, but it was really good. It was.
Somebody commented Cust about to burn his mouth again, and then it happened.
And then it happened. I mean, he does burn his mouth a lot. Ben, did you know that Tim claimed that, because he was talking about mobility again today while we were watching the games, is after he limped up the stairs after sitting down for 45 straight minutes, had to get up to the bathroom and basically needed a cane to get up. But they've been running a lot of advertisements for old folks' homes and like mobility elevators in people's homes. And he continues to bring up that he's more mobile than these people. But he also said that out of, let's say, 700 people in the NFL, that he's more mobile than at least one of them, which seems ludicrous.
Maybe Trevor Lawrence, but that's about it right now.
Punter
I
on the
mean,
Seahawks.
He was doing better.
Yeah.
He came back out and kicked a field goal. I saw you try to kick a field goal.
His back was sore. He was retching over.
Yeah, that's you normally, not you after taking a hit. The guy was still more mobile than you.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that? You're really just staring at that, huh?
I am.
You're really waiting to dig in so you
I
can have
am.
sodium overdose?
I am waiting. It's extremely tempting.
We didn't talk about Washington. So, Ben, are they fixed? Or are they, that's just what happens when you
No.
play the Titans?
That's just what happens. The Titans are the ultimate Ponzi scheme. I get between Calvin Ridley, who killed me in DFS, and just betting the Titans, they've killed me all year. Washington is low key luckier than the Chiefs, honestly. I'm not a fan of them at all. I don't think they're any good.
I agree.
I like McLaurin though.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Robinson was running at full health, it seemed, for the first time in a month and a half.
I can't wait to pick against them in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, who would they play in the first
Correct.
round? The Eagles?
I hope they get Seattle or someone like that. That would be
Eagles
perfect.
would probably be the 2 seed, so that they would play the 7. So whoever is the 4 seed. So, oh Lord, Tampa. Good chance it could be Tampa.
Well, wouldn't Washington be the 7 seed?
No, Washington would probably not be the 7 seed behind Minnesota and Green Bay.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I guess.
they're significantly behind
Yeah,
those
they
two
might
right
be.
now.
Yeah, I guess so. Then it would be Philadelphia. Oh well, then I really do like the play against Washington.
Well, what if Philadelphia beats Washington again? Would you then like Washington? Because it's hard to beat the same team 3 times in 1 year.
It is difficult to do that, but
You okay?
no, I'm fine. It is difficult.
Is it?
to do that?
I feel like that used to be a thing because it used to be like Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and Baltimore would sweep them and Pittsburgh would beat them, or vice versa, however that ended up working.
The Jets did it once. They lost to the Patriots twice in the regular season and then beat them in the playoffs.
Was that the Sanchez year?
Yeah, in fact, they got crushed in a Monday night game against the Patriots.
That was the best, my all-time favorite moment. If it's the game I'm thinking of where Bart Scott said, "Can't wait"
It
after
is
the game.
the very same game. It's the last time we won
That
a game
is-
in the playoffs.
That is the. I've never rooted harder for any team in any sport. Maybe the Giants when they beat the Patriots, obviously in the Super Bowl, but that game was an all-time good game from Sean Green and Braylon and that was an amazing game.
Patriots tried to fake a punt and it failed. It was a great day.
And this is for anyone who enjoys the challenge out there and watches some like off-brand NFL games with multiple TVs going on. But if Jonathan Vilma is calling your game and they cut to him and he's turned to face whoever it is he's doing the game with, he looks just like Leroy from the challenge. But then he turns and faces the camera and looks nothing like Leroy from the challenge. It's really crazy.
I can't speak to that.
Why not?
I don't know.
You're supposed to be keeping up on current events.
I can only keep up on so much. I'm watching so much network TV that I don't have
well,
time for
give
it.
us your review of Dr. Boat.
I think Dr. Odyssey is a really good show.
Dr. Boat?
Dr. Odyssey. It's the one with Don Johnson and Joshua Jackson. It's actually a really good show. I'm enjoying it week after week. It's on my preset for my DVR.
What else you got? Because I need a show.
I'm
and
enjoying
I'm not.
the new Matlock with Kathy Bates. Excellent. Strongly recommend it. I'm still watching Georgie's First Marriage, but I don't like it that much. But I'm a completist because I've watched every Big Bang episode and I've watched every Young Sheldon episode. I feel obliged to have to watch every one of these episodes too.
I've never even heard of these shows.
It'd be like if you were a big fan of Three's Company. You would have to watch every episode of The Ropers too because you're just a completist. Okay.
All right. I'll search Netflix. I was looking for some
Good picks.
Netflix shows.
And the new Law & Order, it's not brand new, but it's like they rebooted it like 2 years ago. The regular Law & Order, pretty good. It's been hitting its stride this year, I thought. Once Sam Waterston left earlier in this year and a new person took over as DA, I really think that show has hit its stride. I'm really enjoying it.
Thomas W. asked, Tim, have you watched every episode of the new Frasier since you're a completist?
No, I haven't. Because it's
forgot
hard,
about
because it's just
Frasier.
not on TV normally for me to watch.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Which I don't.
Paramount Plus, as they say on Quebec.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard. I mean, it must be good enough that it came back for a second season. So
I mean, they're probably pot committed when they get Kelsey Grammer back on board.
Maybe.
Keep it going. It's only the first season was like fine. It's like six episodes, I think. Now it's back. Drew asks, does anyone like Oilfield Yellowstone? That one with John Hamm and Billy Bob Thornton. I think it's called Land.
I see those commercials.
Landman.
yeah, I don't watch it. I don't watch that or the one Tracker. I don't watch that either.
Those shows have
been
nothing to do
watching-
with each other.
You watch any cooking shows, like food shows?
Oh, Tim does.
I watch MasterChef. I've been watching MasterChef for years. I thoroughly enjoy it. I used to watch Hell's Kitchen. I've gotten away from it because it really is the same show every single week, and I grew tired of it. But I like
You gotta watch
MasterChef.
Culinary Class Wars. You ever see that?
No, this sounds intriguing.
It's really good. It's 50 Korean chefs, and some are like high-end trained, and others are just like random people. Really good. But it's got subtitles.
I'd
I don't
watch
know
that.
if you can handle that.
Oh yeah, subtitles don't bother. me.
Are there classist responses made during the episodes? Like, do they make the fancy cooks cook with fancy food and make like the real low cooks cook with low food?
Yeah, they have to like build their own woks, and then the other people have like a full kitchen. No, it's really good. And it's just awesome. And Korean culture is just dominant over ours, so you would like it.
Is Korean culture dominant over ours? But I feel like you would struggle in South Korea. A lot of people are.
I mean, I would struggle in North Korea, that's for sure. South Korea might be more my speed. Depending on where I got dropped in Korea, I might do all right.
What do you mean? Everybody thrives in North Korea.
I have
It's a
heard
great
this.
place.
Yeah.
Everybody is happy and very full.
Remember that Twitter account?
Yes.
Who was it that thought?
Oh, yeah.
There was a world leader who thought it was a real account.
For a while, until like one day it said whichever that the dear leader had just beaten the world record in bumbleberry pie eating. It's like, this is clearly fake.
It was always fake.
Yes, but like initially it was like not outlandishly fake, and then it got to be like cartoonishly fake. It was still funny.
All right, let's get to the Week 14 spreads. There are 6 teams on bye.
Thank goodness, the end of buys.
Week 14 bye is tough. Great week to have a bye week.
It's extremely advantageous. It's unfair.
Is it because the Jets don't have
No,
one?
it doesn't
That's
matter.
why it's unfair.
Our year is over, but like it's a real advantage to have it late in the year.
I mean, unless you lost your quarterback super early, and then you got like to have that week to get him back.
If you
on
had
the field.
32 teams and you polled them all, which bye week would you want? I think they'd all almost unanimously pick week 14.
I mean, it's good. So Houston's on bye, so we can briefly talk about these teams. Houston, can they figure anything out, Ben, during the bye week, or are they just cooked?
No, they're cooked.
Baltimore, maybe they'll
New kicker.
They can sign Tony Danza.
Baltimore?
Yeah.
Who's the boss?
No, he's the garbage picking, field goal kicking kicker. Get that guy off the street. Someone's got to be able to kick for them.
Somebody has to.
Or do they work extensively with Tucker over this bye week to get him,
It's between his ears at this point.
well, get him out there kicking. Washington's on bye, New England's on bye, Indianapolis is on bye, and Denver's on bye after Monday Night Football. Ben, are you blowing up over there?
No, he's fine.
Oh,
Am I blowing up?
I'm
Oh, I was gonna say all I heard was like a big buzzing. I thought
Turn it up for that other show the other day.
I thought there was a time bomb going off and Ben was going to explode live on the
In
show.
North
Yeah.
Korea. Again, I don't know.
Like the big headphones.
All right, well, we'll keep vamping here until we can get to. Oh, let's do an underdog entry for tonight. Who do you like tonight, Ben? Do you like the unders? Because I kind of like the overs.
I kind of like the overs too. I think people overreact to like, oh my God, there was snow on the seats. Like no one will do anything. Like, or they might shovel and it'll be fine. Yeah, I like some of the overs. I like Shakir. I just think he's poised for a game.
All right, so what's Shakir coming in at here?
I like Shakir too.
I know he's on your fantasy team. You told me already. After you laughed when Najee Harris got hurt, be like, I benched him for Shakir. Then he came back and was awesome and scored a touchdown.
I regret that now.
5.5 receptions for Shakir. That's a lot of receptions. What's the number that you like here, Ben? 5.5 receptions, 54.5 yards.
I'd rather have that.
All right, let's do that. What else can we do? There's actually a 50% profit boost here.
What's McCaffrey's rushing yards? I'd like to play the under on that.
How come?
He hasn't been playing great. I don't see any reason to believe he's going to like take off in this game.
Why? All you have said through 12 weeks of the season is how bad Buffalo's defense, how soft they are, and how you can run all over them.
I just don't like him in this cold weather. I don't like them in this spot. He hasn't looked great since he's come back.
So 64.5 rushing yards lower? Mm-hmm. That would be your suggestion on this?
Yes.
All right, let's do that. Code Mayo. Right now, we'll get you a Brock Purdy free pick that you can add to this, and you can even put the 50% profit boost on it to get it up to 8-1. Right now, it's at 4-1. Let's do that. 100 pays 400. Shakir higher, 54.5 receiving yards. Christian McCaffrey lower, 64.5 rushing yards. And we will be off to the races on that one. We're in for that with the 50% boost. The week 14 spreads. Paul, do you have it pulled up?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, we got the. I don't know if my microphone's really popping all that much right now, but. Oh, it's 'cause I pressed.
You know what, Ben? Do you want to go first, second,
No,
or
we got
third
it.
in guessing the spreads?
Me? I'll
Yeah.
go second.
All right, so you'll go first. Ben will go second. I will go third.
We've got.
Can't be any worse. So
We got the Packers at the Lions.
Lions by 3.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
He's so like you get that MRE in him, and you almost have to drag it out a little. You got to get him fed a little bit earlier so he's falling asleep before he gets to this because it's too good. All right, Ben, you're up for Panthers at Eagles.
oh God. I'll say Eagles minus 11.
Nope.
Eagles 10.5.
Nope.
Well, I'll say he said 11.
Yeah,
I'll say 11.5, but I would have gone to 14.
It's 13.
13. So Tim gets it again. 3-0 Tim already.
For Pat.
Cam has already texted me he likes Carolina in that game.
He's so back. All right, we got the Raiders at the Bucks.
Raiders at the Bucks. Bucks by. I guess look pretty bad. 7.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, there we go. On the board with 2.
Pat's got Mo. All right, Tim, you're up for Browns at Steelers.
Steelers by 6.
Nope.
Steelers by 6.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, Ben. People are just getting it right. 3-2 is the official score. Right now, Ben, you are up first on.
Jets at Dolphins.
God. Jets at Dolphins. I'll say Dolphins minus 4.5.
Nope.
Dolphins by 3.5.
Nope.
I'll go one higher than him. I'll say 5.
Tim gets it. It's the full 7.
Wow.
7?
They do not respect the Jets. They are sick.
Thought it was gonna be
Will
like,
the Jets be favored by kickoff
no,
like every
not
week?
not this time. I was thinking it would be like 5.5.
It seems like a lot,
That's a
doesn't
lot
it?
of points.
Have you watched this team?
I mean, I watched the Dolphins too.
The books must figure that people are wise, finally. They had a bye week. People forgot for a week. All the steam was on the Jets. Like, oh, yeah, right. They lose every week.
I didn't open up like the sheets until late, till Tim came over to the office, man, today. I didn't realize that the Jets had become the betting favorite in the game today.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that was a weird. I mercifully didn't bet that game. Glad I didn't because it would not have worked. But yeah, they took some steam for sure.
Every week. That'll be
Sharps
down.
know.
That'll be down. It won't be a full 7 come Sunday. It'll be like 5.5. 2 is not good. Dolphins are playing badly. Jets can't lose by that many in division.
I mean,
Jets.
that sounds like you saying that. That's what you say.
At +7, I would take the Jets. At +7.
I suppose. All right, next game.
We got the Saints at the Giants.
Saints at the Giants. And it's me. Saints by 2.
Nope.
3.5.
Nope.
4.5.
5. Wow. Saints by 5 on the road.
Oh, I can't wait to lose money on the Giants this week.
No.
That's gonna be a load of fun.
Give me Drew Lock or
It's got to be Lock,
Yeah.
right?
I guess.
You can't go
Boyle.
back.
really like that final score was a complete like farce because like it was like he was awful
Yeah.
until garbage time. All right, we got the Falcons at the Vikings. Oh, Tim's falling apart. This is where you
Fine.
get him.
Fine. Whose pick is it?
Yours.
Okay. What's the game?
Falcons at Vikings.
Vikings by 6.
Ding ding.
Nice.
Wow.
6-3 for Ben, 2 for me. My momentum was curbed at 1 pick. Ben, you're up first on
Jags at Titans.
with, I'm guessing, Mac Jones.
I would be shocked.
What did we find out his middle name was? Macklemore?
Pardon me. No, something.
Macklemore Jones. That adds another point to the spread. It's Jags at Titans, you said?
Yeah.
I'll say Titans minus 3.5.
Nope.
Michael McCorkey Jones will be starting at quarterback for the Jags. Titans by 3.
Nope.
I'm going the other way. I'll say 4.5, but I would have picked 6.
So you guys chop because it's 4.
All right, you guys both get one, Ben
See,
and
there's
Tim.
Tim being sleepy because he could have said 4.
I-
We would've
yeah,
had you.
I
He
would've.
had everything covered.
Ugh.
You got him where you want him, guys. This is your week.
I don't think I think he's already up by too much, unfortunately. There's too many teams on bye.
There's a bunch of games left here. So.
All right, well, let's hear the next one.
All right, we got the Seahawks at the Cardinals.
Seahawks at the Cardinals. Cardinals by 2.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, let's go.
Had to be that. Had to be that.
All right, Tim.
All right.
Whenever I get it right, oh, it had
No,
to be
but that's
that.
like that-
No one else could possibly
No, like
do
that's
that.
that's a fair line. That's what I would have guessed.
We got Bills at Rams.
Bills by 5.5.
Nope.
Bills by 4.
Nope.
Bills by 6.
Bills by 3.5, so it's Ben's.
Ooh. That seems low.
It's America's game of the week too. I think.
America's?
I believe so.
It's not Egypt's game of the week?
I don't believe so.
It could be. You don't know.
You're right.
You have no
Yeah,
idea.
you don't know what goes on.
Eric in the chat says Tim is accustomed to sleeping with the lights on. So
That is true.
this
That
is
is
working
true.
out well for
That
him in
is
the
true.
studio.
I imagine they probably set lines like that when like the Bills haven't played yet. That they're like,
If Josh Allen gets
we don't
hurt.
want to get taken. So and like the limits will be low at this point in the week, right? So it's like they don't want to be taken hard on something. So that will probably go up to like 5.
Thomas asks, isn't that Jimbo Jones from The Simpsons' real name? That would be Corky.
It is Corky.
Next up,
Yep.
Bears at 49ers.
Who is it? Me?
I believe so, yeah.
49ers by 6.
Ding, ding, ding. That's Tim putting the nail in the coffin.
9 to 4. Ben, you are up now for
Chargers at Chiefs.
Chargers at Chiefs. Oof, what a game that's going to be. I'll say Chiefs by 4.
Nope.
Chiefs by 3.5.
Nope.
Go the other way. 4.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
Is everyone in the world going to bet the Chargers?
No, I would probably take the Chiefs. The Chiefs seem to own the Chargers.
I mean, they only beat them by 4 last time, didn't they?
Yeah, but then anyway, yeah.
I mean, not only do they have to beat them, they have to beat them by a touchdown.
I don't know. I think
basically.
maybe this is the game. The Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. They actually do show up. They actually do put on a show.
When was the last time they showed up against the Saints on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, or the 49ers on Sunday Night Football, or it was
I think
America's
it was
game of
just
the week.
America's game of the week.
Either which way, I think the Chiefs will actually show up in this game.
Oh, okay. So bet on the Chargers, Ben? Is that going to be the lock of the week?
I don't know. I keep thinking that the Chiefs are gonna, like, now that everybody's like, oh my God, it's like, well, they're gonna turn it on and look like the Chiefs. But I thought that against the Raiders. I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Chargers. I would, if I had to bet that game right now, I'd bet the Chiefs. I'll say that much.
I think I'd probably take the Chargers here. All right, last game. Monday night.
Bengals at Cowboys.
All right, the Monday night game that they can't
Simpsons
change.
game, yeah,
the
they can't get
Simpsons
out of it.
game. Bengals at Cowboys. Bengals by. How many can they be favored by this week and lose? You all right?
I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Looks like you're.
No, I'm
you're-
fine.
Are you going to throw up the MRE?
No.
If you're going to spew into that. Bengals by 3.
No.
5.
No.
4.5.
5.5.
5.5. Tim wins again. He's the big winner. You can see it's all over his face, just like that mac and cheese is going to be all over his shirt. Coming up very, very soon, it looks like. No. Are you okay to drive home?
I am. I'm peachy.
Are you sure?
I am.
You're not going to just have a sodium crash
No,
on the
I'm
way
fine.
home?
I'm fine.
I don't know about that. Ben, what do you got going on this week?
You know, college basketball, college football. Obviously, over at Odd Chopper, we're running some really cool stuff to celebrate Cyber Monday and all that. So head on over if you're building underdog cards. We've got those tools. But yeah, I'm just excited for the college playoff. There's been so much talk about this nonsense. I want to see it so everyone can yell on my Twitter about who got hosed.
Who's the team most likely to get hosed?
SMU. Because if SMU, they have one loss, they haven't lost in conference, they play Clemson, winner is in. If they lose, I think they'll have 2 losses, BYU and Clemson. I think one of the 3 loss SEC teams, particularly Alabama, is going to jump them. And I don't think that that's overly fair.
Yeah, because the only thing that I really saw from the weekend was if Indiana had made the title game, then they were kind of fucked because they'd probably lose that, then they wouldn't make the playoffs, which seems like a really broken system.
If Oregon takes apart Penn State, we'll see where Penn State is. They'll have 2 losses then, and it could be a big loss.
It seems like they're going to have to figure out, is it a free roll? Like, you only benefit from your conference championship game, or can you get dinged for getting smoked in it? Because, like, what if Georgia loses and they'll have 3 losses? I don't.
Yeah, could you put a Miami team over them? Like, I don't think you could.
No. Miami shouldn't even be eligible anymore. They need to talk about get rid of their coach. Oh, my God.
Is Dion going to be in?
No, doesn't look like it. They didn't make the Big 12 championship.
No,
That's
they're
too
done.
bad. Is Boise State going to be in it?
If they win,
Yeah.
Ben-
And they've got the super player.
Yeah, but is like when we get to the NFL draft next year, is he like a legit? Is he going to be the first running back taken?
Yeah.
Is he a first round pick?
I mean, if you're going to go get, like, Gibbs or Bijan, to me, he's of that caliber. He is one of the best. And listen, it's college, but he's one of the best players I've ever seen in college.
he's got Dallas Cowboys 9th overall written all over him.
Can't argue with that.
The Cowboys are going to trade up to get Sanders and Sanders. They're going to take whatever it takes.
don't
How
think they
many
can with
first-round
the
picks do you need? As long as your dad comes too to be GM and coach and get us on TV and get us the biggest. The Dallas game this year was the 4th highest rated Thanksgiving game ever.
Really,
That's insane.
that is crazy.
That's just sad.
Dallas won.
They did.
Maybe that's the nice part about it. Maybe that's why people are tuning in. I don't know. Anyway, I want to thank all of you for tuning in to this show. Hopefully, Brock Purdy scores the first touchdown. It'd be like that would make up for the entire year's worth of Cust winning picks, technically, of who's not going to score the first touchdown. Smash the like while you're here. Sub to the channel. Code Mayo at Underdog, and I will see you tomorrow.